All right, I'm here with Phil Roselli, runner-up last year, dominating the first round. He had 4 out of the first 16 picks. How do you feel the first round went for you, Phil?
I was pretty happy, Dave, about the first round. I pretty much knew I was going to take Abreu, obviously, with that first overall pick. But when we got to pick 7, I was either going to completely prospect or go throw in for this year, and the entire draft for me hinged on whether one player was available at 7. That player was Carlos Carrasco. Since he was there, I took him, and I figured I could make the run for this year.
So when Carrasco was there, what was your reaction? Were you happy, or were you upset? Were you glad?
I was very happy.
You were happy.
Because I think he's a heck of a player, and he has that critical starter reliever rating, which means, of course, he'll get 2 big starts in the playoff series if I can make it to the playoffs.
Oh, that sounds good. And then you say you didn't want a prospect, but your next pick was Soler, who's a prospect.
I had to take one.
How do you explain that?
I had to take one of those outfielders. You had Soler, you had Jock Peterson, you had Mookie Betts, Polanco, George Springer. A lot of great young outfield talent in the draft, and I said I got to come away with one of them because I need a little help building in the outfield. So I compromised that one pick.
All right, last question. Everyone knows Tanaka's going to blow out his elbow at some point this year. Are you worried about that?
No, because everybody knows he's going to blow out his elbow at some point this year. I figure he gives me the partial pitching card this year. At some point he blows out the remainder of his limp UCL, and then he rehabs. We do know this. When he was pitching before he hurt himself, he was a heck of a pitcher. So he'll be doing some rehab alongside your fellow, Yu Darvish.
All right. Darvish and Tanaka on the sidelines. Congratulations.
Thanks, Dave.
Good luck, Phil.
Thank you. You as well.
Ken Crawford, Michigan Moneyballers manager, just wrapped up our draft. What was your impression? I saw you went with Josh Harrison at number 2. Why?
Josh Harrison fit my team perfectly, Dave, because I had an opening against lefties at third base, and I had an opening in the outfield against righties, and Josh Harrison fills both positions and has a pretty good card this year.
All right. So
I actually traded up, Dave, from 4 to 2 to make sure I got him.
So you've planned this months ago that you're going to take Harrison?
Months, months, way back in November.
Excellent. So Harrison, there was rumors that Phil might jump in there and take him. Did you put any stock in those rumors?
Yeah, I heard Phil was a big Beatles fan, and he thought that Josh was related to George, and he might pick him up because of that. But in the end, it turned out to be okay because he made the right pick at number 1.
All right. What about the rest of the draft? Was there somebody that you had your heart set on that you missed out on, or someone you were really overjoyed that you were able to land?
I was actually pretty glad I got Melky Cabrera in the second round. We had talked about that in some of these mock drafts, and people thought he'd be gone by that time at number 24. So he's got an unlimited card. He hits both ways, and I needed a DH going both ways. He doesn't play the field very well, but I don't need him to do that. So I'm really happy with it.
You got him penciled in at DH full time?
Pretty much, yep.
160 games?
Yep.
So he'll get a lot of hits for you.
Hope so. That's the plan.
So that's the first and second round. What about any sleepers you picked up on that you thought you were real happy with?
Daniel Murphy in the 10th round was kind of a surprise to me. I actually had him penciled in a lot higher than that. He's got an unlimited card again. Doesn't play the field real well, but I have a lot of good fielders, so I can always use a hitter off the bench, or in some spots maybe for Melky Cabrera at a certain time. So I got some pretty good bench strength.
All right, last question. Now this is your 4th draft. I mean, maybe the last couple of years you felt a little uncomfortable and not knowing what's happening. Well, how's your comfort level coming into these drafts now after 4 times?
A lot more comfortable this time, and my philosophy pretty much every year is get a team that's competitive this year. Maybe I need to focus a little bit more in the future on prospects, because I see that's a pretty important part, especially with the retention. And so far, though, I've pretty much gone to try to draft guys that will help me this year, and we'll see how that works out for me.
Well, last year you missed the playoffs by a half a game, so one more win and you're in the playoffs.
That's right.
I'm here with Mike Renbarger, the Superior Titans manager. Just finished up your draft today.
Best draft ever, by the way.
Best draft
That's
ever.
right.
Congratulations. So you've got, you were number 2, you traded down to number 4. What was your strategy there?
Going into it, I knew I wanted to get Arrieta. And I figured at number 2, obviously I was going to be able to get him, but figured I could pick up an extra piece for the run this year by trading down, and it worked out for me.